Breaking news that Warren Davidson has filed the SEC Stabilization Act to eliminate bad boy banker Gary G and reform the corrupt SEC. Moon Boys worldwide jump for joy, and combined with the latest CPI report that will be released in just hours, the stage is set for the baby billionaires to strike back big time, or face a complete and total bust down. Right now, the price of Bitcoin gets ready for its biggest day of, I would say, the entire year. As tomorrow we're going to be getting the CPI numbers back, which will give us nearly just very good clarification on if we will be receiving our very first pause since the hiking cycle began back at the end of 2021. It would be gigantic. It would be the very first time we didn't get an increase in rates since Bitcoin was at all-time highs at the end of 2021. So this is big. We'll be getting this report very soon, in just hours. And then the day after, we'll be getting the official FOMC decision, which we're going to be getting to also in a second here. But more importantly than all of that right now is that Warren Davidson introduced legislation here, filing that the SEC Stabilization Act, as he calls it, is made to restructure the SEC and fire Gary Gensler. It's very big. And so before we talk about anything else, I think it's absolutely necessary to just go on Twitter, retweet, or write your own tweet, or just comment hashtag fire Gary Gensler about this. Just get it as much attention as possible. Is it likely to pass? Who knows? But as we all know, social media's influence is bigger and bigger every single year, and the bigger that this can get, the better, basically. I don't think anyone except the banker boys paying Gary Gensler actually like what Gary is doing. Literally no one else. But this tweet, it's only about an hour old, about an hour and a half, 2 hours old, already over 1 million views. And basically just try and get as many retweets, as many quotes, as many likes, and as much attention as possible. And just trying to keep the Fire Gary Gensler hashtag going. But he says here, U.S. capital markets must be protected from a tyrannical chairman, including the current one, which is Gary. That's why he's introducing this legislation to fix the ongoing abuse of power and ensure protection that is in the best interest of the market for years to come. It's time for real reform and to fire Gary Gensler as chair of the SEC. And what this does, the SEC Stabilization Act here, is it fires Chair Gary Gensler. All rulemaking from, if this would pass, all rulemaking, enforcement, and investigations will be conducted by 6 commissioners. So currently, you basically see the king himself, Gary G, the legend, the man, the myth, right here, and he's in charge of everyone. But it would have new structure, which I don't even know why this isn't already the case anyway. But have 6 commissioners here, basically leading to prevent as much corruption as possible. There will always be corruption, right? This isn't trying to cure corruption as a whole. But the amount of corruption shown by Gary Gensler over the past year is completely unacceptable. And this is exactly why this bill is being introduced and why so many people are outraged, rightfully so, because of this completely bananas, this circus that is happening in the U.S. But additionally here, it's a little over a 75% chance as of right now that we will be getting our very first pause in just about 48 hours. In less than 48 hours. But all of that basically depends on the CPI report that we'll get back in, roughly about 12 hours or so. So in about 16 hours, depending on when you're watching this, we will know what the CPI is. And if it comes in at or below expectations and it, strengthens the case for a pause, then it's extremely likely we'll get a pause. If it comes back really high or something, then maybe that lessens the chance. But again, right now, it sits almost at about 80% chance that we'll be getting our very first pause. How will markets react to this? I think that it will be exciting. We're already seeing the stock market, again, continue to do extremely well. NASDAQ, S&P, both up today, doing very well. And I think that the market is ready for the very first pause since the end of 2021 when this hiking cycle began. Back when Bitcoin was at 69,000, nice, US dollars. So with that being said, Gergavin posting on Twitter, the FOMC rate hike is on Wednesday. Currently, the market expects no rate hike, but if we see a hotter print, like I just said, tomorrow, that might change. From 66 qualified economists, 8 of them are expecting a rate hike. 57 are expecting no rate hike. and one is expecting a cut. So obviously a cut is very unrealistic, but estimates are all right around 4%, with the highest being about 4.3% and the median being 4.1%. So if you wake up early tomorrow and it comes back at about 4%, then that's a decent read. That's right on expectations. If it would come back 3.9%, at all below 4%, be huge. I fully expect then, if that was the case, then I think it's almost guaranteed we're not getting another rate hike on Wednesday. But if it comes back around 4.1, 4.2%, that's still not horrible. Above 4.3%, if you see that number, then that's the number you might look at and think, okay, well, maybe the chances of this pause just changed a decent percent. But also we have continued turmoil with the US dollar. China confirming massive BRICS expansion. Many countries, again, continue to talk and really act out this idea of ditching the US dollar, which, again, the US is not, the US is making so many bad decisions here. And unfortunately, it is because it has been taken hostage by a few key bad people, like Gary Gensler, for example. Right now, we're seeing Bitcoin trade sideways. Still within a potential massive bull flag. If we actually go over here to this tweet, obviously we had we bounced at about 19.6 all the way up to 31. We've been trending downwards in a very similar structure to a typical bull flag. And, retesting the top of this, we haven't even started that, but if we would come back up to about 27.5, which could happen in a single day if this news is bullish. If we get a CPI that's not that hot and we get our first pause, that could easily do something like that. Now, let's dream and let's have a little hopium for just 5 seconds here. Let's say Gary Gensler gets removed in a month, or who knows really the time frame, but let's say Gary Gensler would be removed. And I think you have to dream a little bit for that to be realistic, because at this very second, that's obviously, many people are unhappy with him, but we have to keep in mind he's been put there by some very powerful people. But let's just say for a second, if Gary Gensler would be removed, that is the hopium bust off that all of us are truly dreaming about, because getting a nice CPI and then having our first pause, yeah, that's awesome. That would absolutely, I think, be good for the market. But I think what everyone truly, really wants would be to see Gary Gensler removed. And what's funny is not even just the U.S. would be happy. People worldwide, crypto holders worldwide, would be euphoric if Gary Gensler got removed. Again, I don't think that's going to be happening this week, right? Very, very, very small chance of that happening. However, the more noise you make, the more you participate, even just putting the hashtag fire Gary Gensler, retweet Warren Davidson stuff, all of that, the more you do that, the better it is. Even if it's only a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of a chance, that little percent of a chance that you specifically watching this can add to this is invaluable. And I think, it would be amazing the more people that do it. Don't underestimate your ability to just, have an impact on your reality, and especially with the power of social media. Do not take it for granted. But, at this very second, we're still holding support right above the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders. We're not honestly in that bad of a position, especially after all the news we've gotten. I will say it again. I've been saying it. I'm shocked we're still above 23,000 US dollars. I'm absolutely shocked. If we go to the SPX, though, let's take a look today. Look at this. We just broke the highs also from back in August of 2022. So like 10-month highs we just broke. NASDAQ as well, looking absolutely insane. So again, there's a lot of bullish momentum that is sitting on the sidelines right now that could just get unleashed like that. One positive catalyst. And as I'm sure you've heard, we got this news about, SEC suing Coinbase, Binance. We heard about Robinhood, Crypto.com, all that. It's all negative news, and Bitcoin did nothing. It dropped like the same amount that it has dropped any given day over the past 3 months. It didn't matter. And that is a huge indication when horrible news comes out and the price doesn't do anything, it doesn't dump. That is a massive indication that the bottom is already in. Sell pressure is just not that strong. And the real pressure, the real momentum, is likely to be to the upside. To take advantage of massive sign-up and trading bonuses with Femex and BitGet, if you sign up with my links below, specifically earn free XPT for a limited time when you sign up with Femex, and massive sign-up and deposit bonuses as well with Femex and BitGet when you sign up with the links in the description below. Make sure you're going over to Twitter and just, make your own tweet. Hashtag fire Gary Gensler. I would absolutely recommend you retweeting Warren Davidson's tweet. It's at the top of my profile if you follow me as well. It's everywhere. It's very easy to find. But yeah, absolutely worth doing. It's absolutely worth your time.